What's going on, my fellow farmer brothers and sisters? Alright, big changes just happened. Stay tuned, and I'm going to do a quick little video showing the new game plan and what else I just got myself into. Don't want to miss it. Alright, my friends, so we're going to talk about the Cub. I'm going to walk through the shop, show you the new change of plans on the Cub. I'm still working on it, so no change of plans of not working on it, but the change of plans of now what's happening with the Cub. It went from me just freshening that thing up to a full-blown restoration, top to bottom, inside and out, every nut and bolt. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time bringing myself to doing the job halfway. Just as I say, I'm not going to do a restoration, I'm just going to freshen it up. It turns into a freaking restoration. Oh well, at least the Cub's going to be absolutely perfect and beautiful when it's done. I got to get her done anyway, because I want to roll the 300 row crop in next, because that one is going to be a freshen up. Everything runs, everything drives, everything works. I'm just going to freshen it up with some paint, clean it up, put all the new emblems and steering wheel and tack and all that good stuff, new tires, new rear rims, new all that on there, and then we're going to get that one moving, because I got to get that one done, because then we got to finish the 300 utility next. Then I don't know, somewhere in the midst of there we're going to get that 450 running. It does have that one cylinder is a little rusty. I'm probably gonna have to pull the head off. Hopefully I can get it freed up. If I can't, we're gonna have to drop the pistons out of it. Whatever, no biggie, right? We'll get her done. But anyway, I want to get at least the 450 up and running and leave it in its work clothes just for a little bit until I get the shop eventually built, and that's where I want to work on that one at. But I'm getting ready to turn this camera around and show you what I just did. Remember that real nice 16-foot Hudson trailer, the 1986 trailer, 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight that I restored and got up and running and everything looks perfect on it? I traded it. Not a bad deal though. I paid 500 bucks for that trailer. And then of course I put a lot of time and work into it, but I paid 500 bucks for it, and the trailer worked perfect when I got done. Everything worked nice. Winch worked perfect on it. The trailer worked perfect. You know, it hauled that big ass 450 on it, even though it was off the ass of that trailer. It hauled it. It did its job. But I really wanted a deck over trailer. I wanted something that I could obviously have a wider deck space on. So I went ahead and I decided, just for the hell of it, to go ahead and advertise it on Facebook Marketplace to say, not for sale, trade only. I want to trade it for a deck over trailer. Just kind of put feelers out there and see what I could find. I made a deal with a guy, very nice guy. Him and his father came out here. Couldn't ask for a better bunch of guys to talk with, but I was going to do a straight up trade. And I guess, you know, after you saw the condition of the trailer compared to the trailer that I'm trading for, he offered me some money on top of the trade. So he basically paid me the 500 bucks that I paid for that other trailer. Like I said, it didn't include all the work as far as the stains, the paints, the lights, everything else I put into it, the building the new ramps, all the metal, all the reinforcing, everything that I did to it. But you know what? It was very nice of him to offer, and he did, and he gave me the money towards it. So in essence, I got a trade for the trailer that I wanted, as well as I got basically paid back for the price that I bought the other trailer for. And now I'm going to do the same thing to this. I'm going to pull the wheels off of it. I'm going to replace all the deck boards on this one, unfortunately, because a lot of them are rotten. There's a lot more work I got to do to this one. But for the trade, for the value, this one here is a 2002 20-foot deck over, same weight class. This is a 5-ton trailer, and it's another Hudson, and it's exactly what I wanted and needed. I love to have one of those hydraulic tilt deck trailers, but you know what? This one will do me just fine. Putting that winch back on here and all, no problem. I'm going to flip this camera around, show you what my trade is, and some of the future videos. Besides working on all the tractors, I'm going to get this puppy worked on so I can get it all cleaned up and ready to use. Obviously, it ain't going to take me long to weld up what I need and replace the things I need. I already got actually everything ordered. I got most of the stuff already here. The only thing I got to do is pick up the deck wood and the stains and the paint. That's it. And then I'm going to get rocking on this thing in between working on this Cub. So anyway, let's flip this around. I'll show you what I got. Alright, so here it is. This is a 2002 Hudson deck over 5-ton trailer. obviously got some things to fix. I already have new lights. They already just showed up. I got all new lights all the way around. I got new tail lights. I got the winch plate. I got all the steel because I'm going to cut this front bar off right here. I'm going to rebuild this, but I'm going to make the front bar taller like I did. I already have the 2 deck lights that I'm putting back on here. I got a toolbox already coming for it. I got everything for it already. I already got all the metal to replace the one ramp that's bad on it. The other ramp doesn't seem too bad, so I'm going to stick with it for a little while. Eventually, I'm going to build wider ramps, but for now, I only got to fix one ramp. Obviously, as you see, the deck wood, like I said, I can't really fall through any areas, but there's a lot of areas that are like this, so you can't really fall through it, but whoever damaged the front of this, that's what really buckled this up. This is going to take a little bit more work, trying to heat this up and straighten and move this, but I did get it, some basically, it's basically like a lentil in a sense, but it's basically angle iron heavy enough that I have an idea how I'm going to fix this. But like I said, I want to cut this off anyway, and I want to remove this bar because I don't want a bar that low. I want a bar that's a little taller like I did on the other one. So I was already planning on cutting this off anyway, so it really didn't make a difference. He already put a brand new brake controller on there. I have all the reflective tape. Now, something really cool. This is the reason why I love Hudson Trailers, and I'd have to give a shout out to Hudson Trailers for this. I contacted them yesterday and told them I'm restoring another one of their trailers. And I said that I'd like to get the original decals for this trailer, and I want to know how much it was to get all the original decals for it. And, you know, the stripes and all the decals that go up here for the weight class and everything that goes to this trailer. They actually are sending me out all the stickers, all the decals, everything for this trailer for free. And they gave me all the specs on the trailer. They gave me everything off the VIN number to get me exactly what this trailer is. That's a pretty stand-up company. That's pretty awesome. I mean, they could have charged me for the decals and stuff. They could have charged me for all the stickers and everything that go on this trailer. But they're sending it all out for free. That's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, yeah, it's small. But you know what? Sometimes those small things those companies do, that means a lot. So it's kind of cool. So I'm going to restore this trailer. All new back black and everything. Put all the original decals. Put all the reflective tape on the side. Because as you see, it's all been painted over. So all the tape is gone. Lights are busted off. Stuff like that. So I'm going to basically just fix this whole trailer up like I did before. I'm going to take these steps, I think, off. I have some new step material that I'm actually going to do, and I'm going to make some different steps to make it a little easier to get on. I have all the diamond plate for up here already for both sides, so I'm good with that. Clean the rims up, obviously. I'll check the brakes and everything, but it's got the electric brakes and everything on here. The tires are actually in really good shape on this trailer. I think he said he put them on not that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, and he's only used it a few times, but the trailer is set, because I think he said he uses it once a year, maybe twice a year, if that. So tires are good. Like I said, the backlights were all bad. The worst thing on it was this ramp here is pretty bad. As you see, it's got a bad bell in it. And also, since somebody broke, see how it's got the jack on here like I built for mine? Well, somebody broke the jack off on this side, and I guess they still tried to load something heavy, so it bent that really bad. So I stopped by the steel yard yesterday. I picked up the new tube that I'm going to use to put inside here, and obviously I got the new tubes it's going to weld to the ramps to go around it. I got everything already, and I already got the angle for this. I already got all the 2x2 for the centers. I got everything for it already. So again, no big deal. I'm going to rebuild the ramp. The other ramp is actually not in bad shape on this one. It's just this one. So I'm going to fix all this. That way it's up and running again, and I am going to put the steel bars back on here again so I don't have the chains, because I don't like the chains on these. But yeah, it's a 3 foot. It's actually a little over 3 foot as far as the dovetail, and it's a little over 16 foot to the peak, but they consider it a 20-foot trailer. This ramp, this step over here, as you see, somebody bent it pretty bad. Again, I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to build my own steps, something pretty easy. And I think I only have 3 areas on the rub rails that I have to fix. Again, no biggie. Put some heat on there, bend that thing in place. If I have to, I'll park beside a tree and I'll wrap something around it, and I'll crank it out and straighten these. But one way or another, I'll get these. So anyway, so yep, that's my new project. I got me my deck over. It's a 96-inch wide deck, so it's not the 102, but that's fine with me. The 96 is going to haul everything I need just perfectly. Again, pretty much straight trade. And he paid me for the other price I paid for the other trailer. So, like I said, to me, not a bad deal at all. So anyway, so that's my project. That's my new trailer that I'm going to have to get up and running. But again, no biggie. So let's go ahead and go in the shop. I'm gonna wait for that compressor to get done, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing to the Cub, kind of how things have turned around on that. Alright, so first let me talk about this real quick. So I found a guy on Marketplace who was selling a set of tires, front tires, that I need for the 300, which one am I putting this on? I'm putting this on the utility. 650 by 16 F2s, Crop Max tires. Almost perfect tread. Look at that. Look how new they are. I got these for 75 bucks. Come on, that's not a bad deal at all. $75 for 2 front tires. I mean, that saved me 125 bucks. Not bad. And you know, I forgot to actually note on the trailer out there, I did take off my winch, and I did take out my battery, and of course the solar panel I took out. So really the only thing that I had to buy to reconnect everything was just today I had to go and pick up the new winch plate to weld back on there. But other than that, I did keep that stuff though, because I did say in the listing when I was doing the trade I wanted to keep my winch. So anyway, so I still have those. But anyway, so back to the tires. So yeah, 75 bucks for a set of tires. Couldn't really beat it. Throw a set of tubes in there, boom. Now the 300 utility's got tires, so I'm good to go. And here's most of the stuff that I ordered for the trailer already. So got the new, basically the same style lights that the Hudson had on it at the time, but these are a little shinier chrome, kind of nice looking. So when I go back black on it and put all the Hudson stickers, it's going to have all the new lights. And I decided for the tail lights, instead of going with the old school round lights that are on there, I'm going round. Trying to do this with one hand here. We're going round, but I'm going round LEDs now. So I figured that'll bring it up to the times a little bit, make it look a little nicer, a little brighter. And then of course I got all the reflective tape, because I know a lot of guys were saying put reflective tape back one for DOT reasons, and you know, I did on the other one, so I'm putting it back one here. These, what are these? I don't remember what these are. Oh, okay, these are the red lights. So I got 4 of these, and I got 6 of these. And then I have the toolbox still on its way, so that'll be showing up soon. Okay, that's enough of the trailer. Let's get to the Cub. Here is the Cub. So what happened was, this right here is the extra chassis that I got from my buddy Jared when I got those other Cubs. This was the extra one. This poor thing was actually stripped down because a tree fell on it, dented the hood and everything on it, and the grill. So the guy decided to strip it down for parts because of a dent in the hood and everything. So this thing actually was working just fine until that happened. So, alright, so the reason I'm using this is, the idiot who took that seat bracket that you saw in my last video when I was trying to get this out of here, well, he completely and utterly welded this thing completely to that axle housing and the pan. So I couldn't get these things separated. I was done fighting with it. I could have brought the torch out. I probably could have started torching things. I got so irritated with trying to get it apart. So for right now, I took the chassis that was in the last, I'm tripping over the engine stand. The chassis that was on the video that I pulled the final drives off of, well, that chassis is now on the trailer and it's being stored in the back. This chassis got brought off the trailer and got brought in here to start working on. I've already pretty much dismantled everything on this except for the last thing I gotta do is pull the axle housing. I gotta pull off the plate. I'm gonna disconnect the bell housing and everything, without a torque tube, sorry, from the transmission, because I got all new seals. I got everything. Everything is already here. All the parts, all the bearings, all the seals. I got a whole pile of stuff here that came from Hamilton Cubs. So we're gonna completely finish dismantling this whole thing so I can get it all cleaned up, get all the new seals in it. We're going to get this section right here painted, start getting this back together. I got everything for the final drives. I got all the brakes, I got all the parts, all the seals, all that. I got everything for those. Everything is here. So that is going to be now the new plan, is I'm using this chassis. Now, the other thing was the motor. Remember we had the issue? The motor runs. She sounds really good. Problem was, where this ear is right here, this side here was broke off. So I decided to go ahead and rebuild the other engine for this thing, so that way we could go ahead and basically strip all the parts off of this. I'll save this block for a rainy day when we want to do another video on putting that back on, cleaning it up. I might use the TIG welder, and I'm going to TIG weld that wire back on, that bracket back on, and we're going to see how everything works out. Obviously my head repair has been just fine. Anyway, so I went ahead and I cleaned up the other engine. Here it is, all ready to rock and roll. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and clean these cylinders up, hone these out with a straight ball cylinder hone first. Then I'm going to run the ball hone afterwards, and I'm going to do a video when we're doing this. We're going to go ahead and run this afterwards, give it cross hatches. Once I get that done and that cleaned up, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to drive in all new valve guides. I do have to take the valves back out of the other motor once I do the valve seats, and we're going to have to re-lap them to this head. To this head. So anyway, so this engine right here is pretty much ready to go. It's already stripped. I've already cleaned it. I've already went through things. It's completely ready to rock and roll. I did order a new valve spring compressor that should make this a little bit easier. This is more of an old school tool. I'm trying to remember what brand it was. I thought it was written on there. Katie? Yeah, it was Katie Manufacturing from Lancaster, PA. Not too far from me. But anyway, that's going to make this way easier getting inside here, because this is more for like flathead engines. This is going to make it way easier for those valve springs inside here. So I went ahead and ordered that tool, found it off eBay, 20 bucks. Wasn't a bad deal. So the next video you guys will see, we're going to go ahead and jump into doing the rebuild on the motor, as well as we're going to be doing some work to the seals on this. And then we're going to go ahead and clean the crank up a little bit. Everything was actually pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and polish it up some. Same thing with the cam. I'm going to go ahead and clean the cam up a little bit. My table is a mess because I got everything everywhere. But I got, like I said, everything in there. All the bearings, all the brakes. I got, obviously the pistons, the rings. These are the pop-ups. That's going to go in here. So anyway, so that is, I guess I could say, the mess that I got myself into is it went from just a freshen up to a full-on restoration now. Everything's new. I'm going to call this my Franken Cub, because you figure this engine is now from a later model. This is a version 8. The housing for the torque, I think this was a version 2. Yep, so this is the R2. Obviously this was a later model Cub, but it's the R2. The head that was on the tractor, let me see. So there's the R8 right there. But this motor here had on a version 1 head that came with it, which was funny because this head was a version 1 as well, and the block was a version 2. So even though it's kind of funny that I'm calling this my Franken Cub because it's got so many parts, this tractor already had different parts when it was put together. So in essence, it's still a 49 tractor because I'm still using the 49 VIN number, and it's still got the 49 parts I'm transferring over, but it is using parts from different tractors. Some of those parts that I took off of here, I am going to obviously save. I will refurbish them in the future. Maybe I might use them for the other Cub when we do that one if I need be. That's fine. But obviously this Cub is going to be all put together with some different parts. So it kind of sucks having to start all over again, but I look at it this way. The ear isn't broke off. This motor doesn't have any cracks in it. None of the water jackets. I mean, everything on the casting is good. Now what I did do is I didn't do a video on it. I meant to, but I didn't because it was so small. Something that was no big deal. I went ahead and I filled up. All right, let me start over. I went ahead and I made a block off plate for the side of the water outlet, and I covered this up. See how nice and actually clean it is for the most part inside. It's getting a little bit of surface rust from sitting in the shop, but see how it's pretty much clean. I plugged that off and I filled up the engine full of the vinegar and the salt. I let it sit for about probably close to a week, and then I flushed it all out. It took almost all that heavy rust scale. It actually bubbled it up from here, and it was actually starting to come out some of the holes, but it actually started pushing a lot of the old rust up and out. And then I hosed it all out and cleaned it up, and it took all that thick grime out from around the cylinders. It took it all out that was in the bottom. It cleaned it all out. It cleaned it up actually really good. So if you decide you want to go ahead and descale and get some of the rust out of your water jackets in your motor, do that vinegar and salt solution. Now I did make sure that when I put it in there, I kept it to the point where this didn't get rocked around because you have the engine sand shakes, because you don't want it splashing all up and running all down your cylinders and all that. I just didn't want that rust water getting into all that. So just be careful. I have a blind dog who walks around here, and he bumped it apparently at one point, and he made some of it splash out. So I wiped that right off. But anyway, yeah, if you want to clean that up, easy thing to do. Another thing I did was I pulled out the plugs. A lot of people overlook these. Don't overlook these plugs, because when you build a fresh motor and that motor hasn't been started yet, you can actually pull these plugs out. You can pump oil into these holes right here. This one right here will actually lubricate the cam bearings. This one right here goes down to the main bearings and all, and it actually lubricates everything before you do a startup. There's actually another one up here. You can actually pump this up with some oil. Yeah, I think that was the only one that I remember. So anyway, so yes, you can pump these up, and then obviously this one back here, that's where your oil sending unit goes. But you do have areas on here that you can go ahead and hold on. That compressor has impeccable timing. But anyway, there are areas on this block that you want to go ahead and you want to make sure that you pre-lube when you first start, before you start this thing up, because at least that way you know the oil will be circulating before that pump has time to pull that oil through. So just my little advice is just don't overlook these plugs. Make sure you actually use these. Even a motor that's been sitting for a long time, it's actually not a bad idea to crack these open and go ahead and run some oil in there. It kind of pre-lubes the motor, and then fire the motor up. So like I said, just a little extra advice. Alright, so anyway, so that's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next video. The next one is going to be, we're actually going to go ahead and get crack-a-lacking on this block, and we're going to get cracking on the housing. Once I get this all broke down. I may or may not do the video of breaking this apart. I don't know, maybe I will, just because I know a lot of people have trouble getting the brake assembly and all this out of here. I did start, I guess I should have started the video in it. But anyway, that cotter hole right there is usually over here. I slid this brake pedal by wiggling it over to this point, because now you see these are overlapping. But that's not the way you get this out. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and get all this freed up, get all this cleaned up, and then let me see if I can remember correctly so I don't tell you the wrong thing. Once you get this cleaned up, you actually are going to loosen up. You know, a lot of people don't tell this on the videos, how to take these apart. But see that square bolt right here? And you have a square one right here. What you want to do is you want to get these to break loose without breaking off. I got these soaking in penetrating fluid. I am going to put a little heat to these. You want to break these off. Once you break these loose right here, then you can go ahead and you can slide these pedals off. Take this pedal, slide this pedal off. That rod right there, you're going to push that direction, which will bring you around to here. Because see, I got this pushed in because I've done wiggled that pedal over because I was trying to free it up. But you're going to take this rod and you're going to wiggle it, and you're going to pull this rod right on out of the housing. That's how you actually get this thing disconnected to get those pans off. So like I said, there's not a lot of videos of people showing it and telling it. So you know what, maybe I should do the video starting off one completely disassembling this, because most people do a video where they start it and then boom, it's off, it's done. They can be a serious pain getting these out, I will tell you that right now. But that's the way we're going to do it. So anyway, so make sure you hit that notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. It's always appreciated. And next time you see this video, it's going to be, like I said, getting this thing ready to go ahead and, we'll do the video dismantling this. So we'll make it the third part of the teardown. And then after we do that, I'm going to wire wheel everything, clean it all up like I did the block. I wire wheeled all this, got all the old paint off of it and everything. We're going to do the same to this, and then we're going to go ahead and put all the new seals in, seal this thing up, and then we're going to get painting. And then one of the videos is going to be working on the trailer as well. So either way, we're making good headway here. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's everything. I did pick up some new parts for this tractor too. I picked up new tie rods for it off of eBay. Got a good price on those. I think I paid like 30 bucks for the tie rods complete. I just got to remember where I stuck them at. Yeah, I think I stuck them under my bench over there. They're kind of in the mix of all these parts, but here's the tie rods here. I got a new oil pan. I think I paid 20 bucks for. And I bought something else for this tractor too that I got a good price on. But all in all, I don't have, a generator. I got the generator for 30 bucks. Again, everything is actually, it's original paint on the generator that you can see here. So might have to rebuild it, but it's not all rusted and locked up. So good price on that. So if you really think about it, the price I got on some of this stuff, the price I got on the block, really the most I have invested right now is the engine parts, the gaskets, clutch, like all that stuff. But again, it's a Cub. It's not really that bad. But anyway, alright, so I'm going to end this video now. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share, hit that notification bell, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.